Konnichiwa. Hello, I'm Bill Kralovic. I'm the head of the Osaka International School of Kwansei Gakuen, and I'd like to thank the committee for allowing me to answer some questions and do this video, and hopefully I'll be able to upload it. My wife and son here are filming me on the iPhone. We're here on my patio on Sunday night and a beautiful summer evening here in Osaka on the eve of year number 26 for me in international education. I still get nervous. The students are coming tomorrow, and the past 2 weeks have been spent crazy getting the teachers here. We had 7 new faculty members come in, getting them settled into their apartments and getting them registered with the city and getting everybody phones and internet and then getting them settled at school. Finishing up the summer construction projects at the school. We have a new cafeteria and we have Caesar's Kitchens. It's an international catering service with a South African chef, and the kids are gonna love it and the parents are gonna love it, and so I just cannot wait. And it was a lot of work getting with the parent associations to get that through and get that done, so we're very excited for it. I can't wait. We love Japan. It's a wonderful place to live. It's safe, it's clean, it's very organized. We live very close to the school. My wife is teaching kindergarten at the school, and I have 3 children in the school, so we really love it. However, with 3 children in the school, it's a taxable benefit, and the progressive taxes here get worse and worse every year, and so we're not saving enough money for our retirement and not saving enough money for the university for our children, and so we're looking for different opportunities. Why the Tashkent International School? It has an excellent reputation internationally. As a parent, I'm selfish. I'm looking for a great school for my children, and it fits the bill as an IB World School. I used to know a couple people who work there. Kevin Glass, one of the former heads of school there. I went to the Academy of International School Heads with him, and we did some summer seminars together. He spoke highly of it. When I was a principal in Belgrade, we hired several teachers from there, including our PYP coordinator. She loved the school and loved the city, and it seems like it would be a good place to raise a family. And I would like to stay there for a while if presented with the opportunity. Tashkent seems like a nice size. I love the outdoors. I'm into hiking and into bird watching, and the Central Asian republics are full of beautiful scenery, and I love the interesting mix of Soviet, Russian, and Central Asian culture. It'll be a fascinating place to live, and I would really be honored to work and live there. All right, to answer your questions then, the first question: how would you manage and lead a progressive school in the context of a complex and fluid political environment within a country in transition? My first administration job was in Venezuela, and I kind of felt like I was a doctor in residency. You know how they take the young doctors and they put them in the emergency room to handle all the crazy and important and difficult situations that come up in an emergency room. That was Venezuela for me. I was there from the years 2001 to 2007. Hugo Chavez was the president, and it seemed like he had a show on Sunday nights called Allo Presidente, and it seemed like every week he would issue some proclamation or some new law that we had to deal with. And so anything from currency controls, we had to separate the dollars and the bolivars, and there was a black market that was going on. For a couple years we had trouble getting visas for the teachers, and we had to work around that. And we also had trouble with the land title at the school, and so it was a very hard situation. I think what I've learned from that, number one, is to do everything by the book, stay transparent, and do everything as legal as possible. Number two, I think it was important for us to become an asset for the community. So in our service learning program, we reached out a lot to the barrios that were there and some of the local schools, and we really helped and supported them. And that was part of his revolution, was helping the poor. And so that was looked favorably by the government, all of the outreach that we did in the community. And then third is sticking to our mission. And we were a leading international school in a country that really needed it. And so providing PD to other schools and just being a beacon of light in education in the country served us well. Also, when I took over as the middle school, high school principal in Belgrade in Serbia, we had some of the same issues, not to the extent of as in Venezuela. The thing that we had in Serbia that really helped the school was the bilateral agreement. So that was between the school and the Serbian government working through the U.S. Embassy. We had close relationship with the U.S. Embassy in Belgrade. They had several members on our board, and it really helped us give us legal standing in the country and a framework where we could operate. There were issues that did come up when we were making the new middle school and a new gymnasium. There was a lot of permits and financing and all of the things that we had to do. I wasn't a voting member of the board, but I did serve on several board committees, and I attended the meetings and got to participate in it, and I learned a lot about that, about the bilateral agreement and how to do a construction project in the Balkans. The next question then, how would you maintain lines of communication with a partner or sister organization with sometimes ambiguous or competing interests and goals? At our current school that I'm at, the Osaka International School, we have the ethos of two schools together. So when the school was founded in 1991, it was an IB World School paired with a Japanese international school. So the Senri International School, and we have a shared program. So we share a campus, and our physical education, music, and visual arts classes, students from both sides of the school share those, and all of our extracurricular programs are shared, from our theater to our sports to the student government. All of them have students from both schools, and the faculty coach and sponsor all the activities. So it really is two schools together. And an IB World School with its Western humanist ideals paired with a Japanese international school, it's two very different organizations and two different cultures. I found that the key is to keep the lines of communication open. So the leadership teams, we meet every single morning. We just do a quick check-in, see how everybody's doing. We meet on a weekly basis then too, because everything that we do impacts them and vice versa. So we really find ways to work together to benefit our students, and that's a key. If you can keep it with the mission and focus on the students, what's the best interests of our students and families? How can we work together to make it better? And so, for example, the past couple of years, some of the things that we've done to work together, number one, it was making the high school schedules come together. And so we matched them up so their students could take our IBDP program. And it was great because they had a lot of good students over there that are returnees. These are students that have lived abroad and then have come back. And to give them the opportunity to work in the DP has benefited our students. We're getting some good students and also helps them. Another thing that we've done is we opened up our dormitories to international students. In years previous to me coming to the school, the dorm was just for local students, and it was just for the Senri kids. Those are with parents in Tokyo, and so what we've done is we've opened up to international students, and so there's another opportunity that we can bring more diversity into the school and work together. So the Senri students in the dorm benefit from having the international students, and the international students are getting that Japanese experience. So that's worked out well. The other aspect that we have of another organization is the Kwansei Gakuen Educational Foundation. They are a university of 24,000 students, and they took over our school back in 2012, and a lot of my job has been explaining to them what international education is and how we can benefit the university as a whole. So they've started English language programs, and they have a master's program in UN diplomacy. And of course it helps getting the resources from them and working with them. But once again, it's being friendly, having a good working relationship, lots of communication, and regular meetings and seeing the big picture. Can you share, next question, can you share how you define, lead, monitor, enhance a culture of successful learning throughout the school community? Our seniors this year had an average DP score of 36. And there's a lot that goes into it. It's just not the DP teachers and their expertise in hiring the right people and making sure they have the resources. It's an entire school community. So from K to 12, working with parents, working with students, working with the teachers. My job as the head of school, yes, a lot of it is through the leadership team and working with faculty, is focusing on the best pedagogy and the curriculum and doing the financial decisions, but I also think it's setting the culture and attitude of the community. So being a role model, being out in front of the school every morning, finding a laugh where I can, being a positive, being very energetic, and setting the tone that the kids come first and we really want to do what's best for the students. And so for example, this year in the school community, we're looking at student well-being, and that's going to be our focus, is making sure that all of our students are mentally, physically, emotionally, psychologically well. And that goes for the teachers and parents too. And so as the leader of the school, that's the direction I want to take us this year. That's the tone that we're setting, and we're going to all try to work towards that. Then the final question then would be, you gave me a choice of one of the 4 questions to choose from, and I chose the one about what's the most difficult decision I've made as a leader and how has it shaped me and what I've learned from it. I find that the most difficult decisions to make are dealing with personnel when you have to let somebody go. And there's a lot of emotional energy when you have to let a teacher go or not renew a contract. What I've learned from this situation, from those kind of things, is to make sure that I'm very clear with working with the person in question, what they are doing that is not living up to our standards, being very clear with what support and how they can improve to reach that, and then letting the process work itself out. Sometimes they do improve and they appreciate the help, other times they need to be counseled out. I think that the faculty appreciates that there's a clear process. I give everybody a fair shot, and I think in the end, knowing that serving the good of the students in the school. And so a lot of times when you have to make a tough call like that, the students are benefiting from that, and that also applies to when I was a middle school, high school principal. In Belgrade, we had to get rid of a couple students that were not living up to the expectations and creating a lot of disruption, and working with the families and doing through the same process, it really helped. So that's the hardest calls to make. All right, thank you very much. I would be happy to answer any more questions that you have, and thanks again for the opportunity. Sayonara.